Okay, we should be back. Hopefully that will be a bit better with the bit rate. Um, how are you guys today? I'm doing, I guess, okay. Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
He's doing all right. UC, UNC 0305. Hello and welcome to our podcast. We were having a little bit of internet issues, but we should be back in live for this podcast. Unfortunately, Aaron wasn't here last week. He had to do some unofficial business, doing business of his business within the business. Hopefully, that's understandable because that was definitely understandable to me. So today we have decided, well, not at the last minute, but sort of the last minute, talk about Gran Turismo 7. Um, I don't know if I ever played a Gran Turismo game. I remember seeing them for the PS2. I might have played one. I might have played four. And I remember it was okay, but I remember liking Need for Speed a whole lot more back that day. But that could be just a me thing. That could be just a
I
me thing. Aaron, did you
I
ever have you ever played Gran Turismo?
no, I've never played a Gran Turismo game. I've always, when it came to racing games, it was always Need for Speed for me as well.
Yeah, Carbon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Underground.
Who cares about Underground? Carbon's better, in my opinion.
Oh, whatever.
Carbon's better, in my opinion.
The only
Underground
Need for
was cool.
Speed, the only Need for Speed game I have for my PlayStation right now is Payback.
I heard that was not okay.
Uh,
It's not Need for Speed as it used to be.
yeah.
With the recent Need for Speed games, but so we can't really say if we have, since we don't have any Gran Turismo background. Like I said, it looked okay. The franchise overall. Before we even look at seven, it just looks okay. It looks
It's
great. It looks wonderful. It just didn't really look that interesting enough for me to play it per se.
just pretty much a racing game exclusive for PlayStation. It's always been a PlayStation racing game. Uh,
Yeah.
Gran Turismo, like how Forza Horizon is for Xbox.
Hmm.
So pretty much that, yeah. And Mario Kart for Nintendo, but that's kind of like a different deal. But yeah,
Different field. Um, yeah, Gran Turismo is only PlayStation only, and also not only it's a racing game, it's also like a simulation at the same
mm,
time. So you do have that arcade racing style, but you also have this simulation of actually feeling it. And
yeah,
overall, like the Gran Turismo games, like no matter which ones you're looking at, even the oldest one back on the PS1, because I'm pretty sure that's where it started because that's PlayStation first console. I don't know if they made a console before that. If they did, then I must be not of this world. Um, if that wasn't their first ever console, but I'm assuming PlayStation One is their first console. I'm assuming that's a bold assumption from me. Highly enough, but it's a
well,
bold
the
assumption.
first game came out in 1997 on the PlayStation One.
Oh, he's looking it up. There we go. PlayStation One.
I
Confirm.
looked it up before. I looked it up beforehand.
Uh, but all like the graphic, all the games look okay. I think people said the fourth one's the best one in the franchise. And I was going to mention that one because I remember seeing it, but I don't know if I ever played it. That's the thing. I don't know if I ever played a Gran Turismo game. I remember here's a before we also I remember PSP. I used to be a big handheld person because for some of y'all that may not know me, sometimes you get grounded and sometimes you want to hide and play a mobile game on a console, on a portable console, especially when you're grounded. When you have a big bed, you want to play your DS or your PSP under your bed so you won't get caught. So this is from my experience, though. This is how I was able to play a lot of DS games and some PSP games because I was grounded. So, um, But there was a time where I kind of wanted Gran Turismo. There was a PSP version. I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Ooh, this looks okay." Ooh, and I actually kind of wanted it. But the thing is that I never got it. That's the thing. I never able to play that game. I had the God of War games. I had the Assassin's Creed game. I forgot what other PSP games I had back then. Um, I know it was a good bit. I know I played God of War and beat that because I was grounded. Um, both of the games, by the way, they're good. But for the Gran Turismo, that was the closest I was ever able to pick up a Gran Turismo game, and it was for the PSP. Now, I don't remember if it had good reviews or bad reviews. I don't know. But I just remember, hey, that looks cool to my younger mind. That looked okay. It looked like a racing game. I don't have a racing game for my PSP yet. I want a racing game. And this was the newest one. I was like, eh. So moving on from that, I don't think Aaron has any Gran Turismo from back then. No.
No.
Not nothing. Okay. So we're moving on to the latest installment in the franchise, Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah.
And before let's go back into the journey of time. Before it came out, people were already reviewing it, saying how great it was, actually, how wonderful it was. Because you assume all Gran Turismo games are pretty cool. Same with the Forza Horizon series. You know, you just assume every single one of them is good. You know, it's made by them, and you hear good things about them. So before, like when Gran Turismo 7 was first coming out, it was getting good reviews. There was good gameplay, good cars, all that stuff. And the graphics look amazing. I can't doubt the graphics. The graphics are getting better each year. I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks good. And then after it's been out for I don't know how long, something that we all like to discuss in this gaming world that we live in, microtransactions. Oh boy, I hate them. I hate them. Ever since I
Yeah.
seen them in Crash Team Racing, the game that I love, the remake that I adore. Guess what's in it? Guess what's in it? It's a And guess what's in the store? Microtransactions. And this has become going in before we go deeper into the game, it's becoming normal now. It's fine. Microtransactions is fine. Aaron, it's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be in every single one of your new games that you're gonna pick up. You know? Then that new game that you're hoping, that Kirby game, is gonna have microtransactions.
Yeah.
I hope not, and Nintendo's not for that, but you know, it feels like it's okay for it. You
It's
know,
a huge issue in gaming today. Microtransactions. It's always has been in the modern gaming world.
pay to win. That's all you have to do is just pay, and here you go. Forget the grinding, forget the experience points. Just throw that out the window. Just give me your money. We'll get you there, just like that.
Yeah.
That's how microtransactions work. And some people just don't want to grind and just be like, here you go. And then back then, I won't say back then, but like a few years ago, EA decides to step in with Star Wars Battlefront 2. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how many of y'all heard of that game or how many loot boxes it has, but it was terrible. It was a piece of garbage. Right, Aaron?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Star Wars Battlefront 2, when it definitely came out, it was it definitely had some bad reviews. Garbage.
Yeah, so you never played it, have you?
Garbage
'Cause I
stuff.
haven't.
Just ran microtransactions. But over the time it gotten a little bit better. But
Have you? Do
yeah.
you play Star Wars Battlefront 2? The new one?
Last time I played it was like probably a year ago, almost a year ago. But uh I just play it like the online, pretty much, just for online gaming. So yeah, but I thought the first Battlefront was fine, but we all know the true Battlefront games are the OG ones.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
You know how I played
But
Battlefront 2? I played it on the PSP. It was good. Because I
isn't
never
like,
had it.
yeah, you did mention like EA, but isn't Konami another company who does
Oh,
microtransactions?
yeah, Konami. Yeah, they went to Pachinko machines. And, we don't discuss that. They destroyed my childhood. That's all I can say. But so going back to Gran Turismo 7, today everyone assumed that microtransactions is fine. It's going to be the new normal. It's going to be fine. Like how we're all getting comfortable with $70 price tag on the console. Even though Aaron's shaking his head, he's saying like, "I'm not okay with that. I want $60."
Well, I just pulled up an article here.
Okay.
Of this is from 3 days ago. Well, like you were still talking about Gran Turismo 7. Just because of the microtransactions and the heavy criticism, even though on Metacritic it has very positive reviews from critics. From the gamers side, from the gamer score, like from the audience score, it is probably the lowest user score from Sony ever on Metacritic.
Probably
This is
so.
the title from the article I'm seeing. This is on videogameschronicle.com. This was posted by a guy named Andy Robinson. This article. That's the title article. Gran Turismo 7 now has Sony's lowest user score ever on Metacritic. And PlayStation's latest game has faced heavy criticism for downtime and microtransactions. It has a rating of a 2.5 on Metacritic.
That's a great score. That's a wonderful score. But yes, before the microtransactions, like I was going to say, it was good because they added microtransaction after the release and after people put in their reviews. That was the thing.
Yeah.
So you have to also keep that in mind of why the critic score is high. So you have to keep that in mind. But
Yeah.
not only did it get worse with the microtransaction, people didn't want to pay because they are costing almost just about as much credits as about a real car. Like for example, 40,000 in game, that would be $40 just for one car. When you're already paying $70 on top of that, and you're paying $40 for a car, which is almost a price of another game that you can get probably on sale. Instead, you're just getting a car. So they turn into that, and then not only did they do that, they made it harder for people to grind in game. It was supposed to be easy, but they saw that and they're like, "Nah, we want money. We put in hard work on this Gran Turismo 7. We want that dough." And you know what they did? They just made it harder for people to grind. Make it more tedious than ever. So that seems like a win-win situation in their book. But guess what? They're losing fans. That user score speaks volume. What was it? 2.5?
2.5.
Yeah, that speaks volumes right there. Right there, volumes. Now, like I said, I haven't played Gran Turismo series. I mean, I could easily emulate Gran Turismo. I mean, easily. But I just didn't have the interest enough to ever play one. But after looking at this and people starting to talk about this is all over the internet, pretty much, in the gaming world. It's Gran Turismo 7, Gran Turismo 7, the biggest flop of the whole entire series. Probably the worst one of the series. I think it's the worst one of the series, right? I'm assuming.
Yes, so probably. Looks like it. And the sad thing, like, it looks like it has great graphics. Probably improved graphics from the other games, probably.
It does. Have you
Because
looked
it's
at
on
the trailer? It looks beautiful. Have you seen the states of play and stuff like that?
I'm looking at a video on the article, like, I think it's a review of it. what I've seen from the gameplay, it looks nice, and
It
that's
does.
sad about it. Yeah,
And the gameplay, the thing is also the gameplay is still there. It still
yeah,
feels like racing. But the thing is, they took out a lot of cars, making sure that you pay for it. And for people that's grinding, trying to get those points, and I pay for that because you have to pay like $40 just for a nice car. Just for
yeah,
one car, $40.
yeah.
And you might think that's ridiculous. There is a YouTuber out there, and I don't know when he's going to do a full video on this. Aaron might know this YouTuber. Maybe some of y'all may know him as well. But he does not like EA sports games. He rips off Madden each year and has a Madden video about an hour-long rant. No, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding when I'm saying this. An hour-long rant of how terrible and garbage it is. And he goes in deep into sports, into the microtransactions. And his YouTuber, what's his name? Angry Joe. Yep,
Yeah.
Aaron knows him. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
A great YouTuber.
Mhm.
Loved by millions. So I'm pretty sure you're probably ready to see. Maybe he's going to talk about Gran Turismo 7. He's probably a rant, maybe.
Probably. I just like
So,
remember talk about this, the microtransactions in Gran Turismo 7. Um, I remember like a similar issue, kind of what we were talking about when it came to like Dead or Alive 6.
oh, I heard
That
that you
game,
had to pour in a lot of money just for something.
that game died. I think that game died quickly because of that. Like, I think it had something to do with the costumes you have to get, the costumes you have to buy to put on your characters, or the hair colors, or whatever you have to buy. They were like, they paid way more than what you used to pay for, or you didn't have to pay for it at all back then. You didn't have to pay for having to, I don't know, get something, unlock something to put as a freaking character customization option. Is I just realized, like back then they were just, it was ridiculous when it came to that issue for that game, because um, here's something right here. It focused on female. It says on an article from Screen Rant about the game. It's talking about, it was about developers responding to a microtransaction about um, hair color microtransactions, and it infuriated fans. But it also says right here, focused on female characters, the game features costly season passes, which provide access to flirty costumes for the fighters and additional characters. It currently costs $89.99 on Steam. Hopefully, game developers and publishers.
So if you're watching this pre-recording video, not pre-recorded, but this is also recorded. And this part is definitely going to go
Will
in.
find
We're just having internet issues, so you're just going to have to
new.
bear with us. He's trying to talk, but he's as you can see, he's a robot, and his screen is frozen. And then my internet decides just to take a big, huge crap right now. So right now it is recording, and I don't know why all of a sudden we're having internet issues. I didn't have any internet issues when I was streaming on my personal Twitch channel. But hopefully everything will go back to according to plan. Hopefully he will be frozen, and that maybe he won't sound like Optimus Prime. But yeah, this is recording as well, so this part is definitely going into the YouTube channel. let you know that we are experiencing internet
Can,
issues at the highest of the highest. So, my plan is my goal. If y'all want to stick with me, I want to change something. This is probably going to disconnect me from live streaming, which it probably is.
hello?
And then we're gonna see if that connects. He's beginning to be unfrozen. He's beginning to be unfrozen and not sound like a robot. And then now I'm frozen. I am definitely frozen. Unfreeze me. What if I turn off my camera? Turn back on. Nope. I might have to disconnect. Yeah, so if you're watching this pre-recording video of us, yeah, this is a great podcast. I hope that y'all were able to listen to it, even though you can't see nothing on the screen as of right now. Nothing. So, what we're gonna do is try to fix this and get back to a regular schedule program. I am attempting to reconnect as we speak, and right now this internet is just not doing it for me right now. It is taking a big crap. I'm trying here, but it's not seeming to want to connect. Um, I'm gonna actually stop streaming and then restart streaming. See if that fixes anything. But there we go. It looks like we're back. So maybe that fixes things. Um, maybe that fixes things. This is great internet issues. Really great, awesome internet issues we're having today. Um, great internet issues. Um, but I hope that you enjoy him sound like a robot because that's definitely going on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. That's the Discord screen. You
What
don't want to
happened?
look at that. You want to see us as he's asking what happened. My internet just took a dump.
Oh,
It's random. We seem to be okay for the time-ish. I am so sorry. I don't know what happened to the internet, but it's still recording. So, all this, even though you didn't see it, will be on YouTube exclusively. Why? Because, we gotta always get a robot. We always gotta get a robot in. So, Aaron, if you don't mind repeating all that you said, because you
anyways,
were.
as I was saying a while ago when we were talking about the microtransaction issues with Gran Turismo 7, what we just talked about, it kind of reminded me of what happened with Dead or Alive 6 when that came out. I'm pretty sure some people know what Dead or Alive 6 is. It's a fighting game, pretty much. But when it came out, it kind of like over the time, it was kind of dying quickly because of the microtransaction issues that people had. And the developers of the game apologized to the fans about the microtransaction system that forced users to pay to change the playable character's hair color. And the team behind Dead or Alive 6 posted an apology for the latest in-game microtransaction feature, which involved changing the hair color of the playable character, which is pretty much the same thing from what I'm seeing right here. It was part of a article that I read from Screen Rant about it. And yeah, Ambra Tarallo purchased it last year around 2020 of March. But yeah, it was kind of like the same thing with kind of like how this Gran Turismo deal is like, and the season pass 4, from what I'm seeing on this article right here, the season pass 4 currently like costed around $89.99 on Steam for Dead or Alive 6, and it's pretty ridiculous.
You're talking, it sounds like Fallout First or Fallout 76. $100 for like a
that could
year.
be one too. That could be one too because people did not like Fallout 76 that much either.
Hey, you want to guess what's in my wish list on Steam? Fallout 7.
Fallout 76.
It looks like it's improving somewhat. That's why it's in my
Yeah,
wish list. But
yeah.
moving on back to the topic at hand, with Gran Turismo 7, even though we're going with microtransactions here, they just made the game worse, and then fans wanted to fight back because this shouldn't be the normal. And this goes back to the very, as some of y'all have been here for long as dinosaurs have been roaming the earth. The first podcast that I did was on greed. And this is what is coming to where the gaming companies, all they care is about money. Don't care about consumers
Yep.
whatsoever. As long
Yep.
as it's making them money. Nintendo actually cares about their customers. I can fall back on Nintendo. I could be on Nintendo side because they care about the consumers. I mean, have you seen Metroid Dread? Have you seen Nintendo Sports? They, Nintendo cares about
What about
consumers.
that? What about that expansion pack for the online deal?
They still care about their consumers. They're adding more games slowly but surely, but it should be getting better. You know, they care. They're trying. You know, commit them to trying. You know, because this is their first time doing, something like this. They always like to
Yeah.
experiment. So, we can always criticize them, but they still take in the support and still care. That's
Yeah.
you know. But these other companies that may not care, I would say 100% Sony that does not care because they do have some good games and they do care. Sometimes they'll ask, for player support. Because I know Square Enix do that from time to time where they ask for people to play their game to see how it is. So if there are any adjustments, so basically they're having them testing out the game for them. That might be a little lazy, but at least they're going to their fan base and asking them, saying like, "Hey, is this the product that you would like to have?" you know. And I feel like that should be okay. But when you're doing microtransactions or rushing a game, you know, back there was a saying that Nintendo. I forgot who said this at Nintendo, but they said you need to take kind of time. A rush game is forever bad. And some people will be like, well, what about No Man's Sky? But I'm not going to go there with No Man's Sky right now.
Cyberpunk 2077.
That game too. We're not going there either.
I think it's gotten better now. Cyberpunk.
See, and now that quote is just going out the window because he just blasted that quote. But what I'm trying to say is that it feels like this is the normal. Like it has to be out there at the release date. I don't know why they plan this at the release date because I don't mind delays. I really don't. As long as the game is perfect and good, maybe put in their release date. Maybe you should set it early. Try to be realistic. Don't try to sit there and try to make money. Like, yeah, going into the business, like this is all business. So we have to be not only from a consumer standpoint, but we have to also be in a business standpoint. Like you have to make money in order to pay your employees, to pay for whatever you're doing in your workspace. You know, that is just from a business standpoint. If you don't have that, then you can't make business, period. That's just the way of life. So you have to understand that from a business point that, yeah, you need money, you know. But then from a consumer, this should be the normal, you know, and that's what we're doing as consumers. This is like I'm pretty sure you probably heard this millions and millions of times. Don't pay for the microtransactions. Let your wallet speak for itself. Don't let only your mouth speak it. Let your wallet speak it too. Your wallet needs to breathe. Do you see my wallet? It needs to breathe. Well, I don't know if it's going to breathe because it's, Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, But we're not going there. It still breathes. But You get what my point is. Microtransactions shouldn't be fine. It shouldn't just
No,
slide under the rug and it's okay. People would just buy. This shouldn't be the normal. It wasn't normal back then. It shouldn't be the normal now. Back then on the old days, if we want to go back to old school, looking at my shirt here, back in the day with the NES controller right here on my shirt, you know what I had to deal with back then? No microtransactions. Whoa. You know what else I did not deal with? Day one patch. Whoa. You know what else I had to deal with? I didn't have to deal with internet or online issues. Oh. Just have a couple of buddies to play some old school games. N64. 4 people. Mario Kart 64 night.
GoldenEye.
See? Back in the day, where I feel like I'm not just going off of nostalgia here or anything like that. Hopefully Aaron's not either. Because if we did, we'd be here all day. But I wish it was like that at the very least. Like, I wish they took time, with these big developers to take time in their games, like it was back then. Like Aaron just said, and I'm going to agree with this too, the old school, the OG Battlefront, it's better than the Battlefront now. Why, why are you taking something and ruining it? You're supposed to, love it and hope that people will, care about their consumers. Because, like I said, Nintendo do. Vicarious Visions also do. They remade Crash, great game. They cared about the fans. They knew that this would get the fans excited. Not only did they bring a course back from the dead, but they made a course from the ground up in that game, even though it's just only one singular course. But they made that. And then they kept on doing other remakes, like the Spyro remake, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 plus 2, and none of those games are bad. They actually care for their consumers. There isn't, hopefully Aaron can quote me on this, besides CTR, I don't think there's microtransactions in those games, right?
In CTR?
No, I'm talking about the remake Crash, the remake Spyro, and remake Tony Hawk.
Oh yeah. There's no microtransactions, and the game I got is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered. There's nothing wrong with those games.
Yeah, but I don't think there's microtransactions. I know it's been a while since I played it.
No, there ain't no microtransactions, as far as I know. But yeah, it was a solid game. I hear that there's a rumor that there's going to be a third remaster happening.
Yeah, but we're not getting into there because we'll be here all day talking about that.
Yeah.
But going back to the issue at hand with the Gran Turismo 7, like, yes, I'm glad that the fans are realizing this and needs to fight back. I'm glad that they're realizing this and saying, like, hey, you effed up. We're here to get you on that. And gamer companies, I don't know if I don't know if anybody from the gaming company will ever hear the podcast. But if you can hear me somehow and found this random YouTuber or Twitch streamer, heed what I say. Take your time. Make sure the game is polished. Make sure the game is good before you put it out. Don't rush it. You don't sit there and say take time, because to me, I don't care if it takes time. Those games are forever ruined. I just mentioned 76. It is in my wish list, and I did say that it was improving. Those words came from my lips and can't be removed. But the thing is, that game is forever done. It needs to move on to the next game and stop focusing on that game. Instead, I know there's some players out there that loves it. There's always a fan base for every game. You know, even no matter how small or big it is, there's always a fan base. Even if we despise it, there's a Fallout 76 community. You know, I actually have talked to some of them, and they sound really cool people. You know, like they love that game, they support that game, and I'm like, that's cool. You know, I love the franchise, but I don't know if I can because I never played the game, so I can't get my full on experience. Just like the Gran Turismo 7, I don't have a PS5 and I don't have a PS4. I can't experience it. You know, I just can't. You know, and I'm not going to go buy one just to get this game to experience it either. That's not happening either. But yeah, I think what they should do is learn from their lesson, learn from their mistake, and stop doing microtransaction. Like people, I don't care if it's like other people should be doing it. I'm pretty sure other YouTubers, and they have. I'll listen to them. That's I just named one that I'm hoping to listen to is Angry Joe. Why? Because it's funny. His rants are hilarious. He goes in way more details probably than both of us combined.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he probably actually played the game and experienced it. For both of us that don't have a lot of money that's coming to us, that we're still, you know, not there, we can't really play the game. You know, he has PS4, but I don't think he's going to get it since he hears all about this. He's shaking his head no. He's like, that discussing things, not touching my PS4. But, did you have anything you want to say after that, Aaron, about that?
No, I already said my things about it. So yeah.
And sorry about the internet issue, but yeah, we can go all day with microtransactions. It's
Yeah.
just, it's
It's
terrible.
ridiculous.
It's like just for cosmetic stuff. Oh, you want a hat? $3.
Oh, you want to change your hair color? Oh, here's this much. Here's $20. Something
When
like
I
that.
can boot it, when I can boot up, for example, I'm just going to say random game, 21 Gram. I could change my hair, and guess what? I didn't have to pay extra money for that. I could just change my hair. I could
Which one
change
you're
my
talking?
body type. The first underground.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can change all of that. I didn't have to pay. Hey, guess what? I didn't have to pay for different skateboards. I can customize it with no extra money added to the game.
Back when games were games.
Yeah, when they actually were fun. That's why
Yeah.
I like old games. Not just because of nostalgia reasons. It's just that I can't trust many new games that are here, you know, today. Sometimes I can, sometimes I just can't. You know, you hear good things about them, you know, like Game of the Year, you know, awards and stuff like that. I forgot what the last Game of the Year were. I think it went to It Take Two. And I didn't play that game. And it looks like a co-op game, it looks fun, but you know, there's not many games that interest me now these days.
I
You
didn't play that
know,
game.
yeah. Like there's just not much that like really like piqued my interest. Like, ooh, I gotta have it. Because last
Yeah.
game that I got and bought on day one, as a new game, that was Resident Evil Village. I remember buying that on day one because I knew that it was going to be a good game. Why? Because I trust Capcom. I trust of giving them 60 of my dollars on day one for this game. And it was worth it. I didn't want to wait for sale. It was definitely worth it. I was glad I was able to play right then and there. I didn't want to wait. So, you know, I trust them because I know that I'm going to get a good product from them. That's why I like Capcom. I love Capcom. You know, it might be my probably not my favorite, probably my favorite third party, you know, producer out there, but probably not my all time favorite. But that's what these other companies should do, and they're not. And it's up to us. It's up to all of us, no matter if you're listening here, listening to somewhere else, because I'm sure a lot of people are talking about this. We're not the only ones. I know we're not the only ones. I've seen people already talk about it. We got to stand and unite as fans and consumers. We gotta show them what is wrong, flip them off. Probably not flip them off. That might be going too far. You know, saying that from a ministry point, but saying no, that we're not going to get into the microtransactions whatsoever because you really can't trust them anymore. You really can't trust these games, and it's hard to gain fans, especially when you go back in the hole like Konami. You know, it's hard to regain fans. It's possible. It is. Trust me, it's possible. And Konami, all they're doing is reselling games. It's not a bad idea, but it could be a good start for them. But I don't know their future. You know, for the store of Konami. You know, they just released Castlevania Collection. You know, Contra, and they're releasing the
Turtles.
Teenage they get the Turtles. The Turtles.
Yeah,
I want the Turtles. I want the Turtles. Y'all saw my reaction. I want it. I would like to have it. But you know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing because we can all easily emulate those old games. You know, I'm pretty sure all of us can easily emulate those games. But the thing is, this could be a step forward for them, unless they're just using this to make money. Because I would love, you know, for them to actually try. You know, it's going to take a while because they went into a big hole in 2015. That's when they dug themselves into the hole and forever stayed in the hole. And I don't wish that for any other company. Maybe EA. But but I just wish that companies could learn. You know, it's like the first podcast. Like I want to say it again, greed. It shouldn't be just about the money. Care about your consumers.
Yeah.
Don't do stupid stuff like this. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. You know, because it's difficult to come back after a complete failure. It's not, like I said, it's not impossible, but it will be very very difficult to come back. Like with Cyberpunk 2077 with CD Projekt Red, you know, with their whole team. I think that's the only bad game that they have. When you really think about it, you know. Like, was it hard for them? Yes. Should they not released it? Yes. Is there some improvements? Aaron said yes. I still don't care about that game. But they can improve from this. This is another thing that goes into the microtransaction. They can improve. It doesn't have to stop then and there. Just because a franchise is ruined, like look at Crash. You know, Crash is history. I will always defend Wrath of Cortex, even though people said that's when he downfall. But I will defend that game, not because of nostalgia reasons, because I honestly enjoy my time with that game, except for the water levels; they are atrocious. But but you see, Crash has started to downfall, and it's hard to trust Crash. You know, especially when they put him in Skylanders. You know, people think, oh, they're just going to ruin Crash forever. You know, this is it for Crash. There's no redemption. Crash is just out of it. Then all of a sudden, here comes a remake. Saying like, hey, and then here comes a new Crash Bandicoot game. And people loved it. I loved it. I got it on the Switch because it needs to come on PC, but it's not there yet. Unfortunately. Same with CTR. It's not there yet. I don't know why. It disgusts me. But the thing is, they brought Crash back, and the fans are excited. You know, it brought back the dead franchise back to life. It's like I said, it's not impossible, but it will be difficult. You know, the remake. People at first we didn't know how this was going to go. You know, a remake. I mean, it's been years. You know, and y'all did nothing with Crash Bandicoot, so we were thinking it could be a terrible game. You know, our expectations was down here when it was first revealed and first announced. We were like, okay, when he just came out stage, and like, hey, there'll be a Crash game. I was like, oh, okay. But my expectation was like here. I was like, okay, fresh. Okay. But I'm saying it's not impossible. You know, it's not impossible for any franchise to come back, to make a comeback. For any gaming company, too, to make a comeback. It's going to be difficult, but it's not impossible. Okay? It's not impossible. If you want some franchises, if you want fans, remake Need for Speed games. And then hopefully learn from that to make another, hopefully proper new Need for Speed game. And not Payback. Not that crap. You know, that's for you, EA. Konami. I still wish you good luck. I really do. I will enjoy your games from the past. You know, always will. You're releasing them in bundles, so I will enjoy the games that you have made. Um, but a good thing to maybe get back on track. I was hearing rumors of remaking Silent Hill. So I don't know if those are true, Konami. But take your time. Learn what Silent Hill was good for. The first three. Ignore. Well, maybe include four, and then ignore the rest. Just ignore the rest. That's what you can do, Konami. Just ignore the other Silent Hill games, especially Homecoming. I do not want to see a Homecoming remake. I don't care. That game. But you know, because look at Capcom. Y'all should learn from Capcom. Look at how they're doing with their games. They're doing Monster Hunter stuff. And more Monster Hunter stuff. And fighting games. And Resident Evil Village DLC, which we haven't got yet. And Capcom needs to work
There's
it
also
out.
a teaser. There's also a teaser of Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, so, you know, Capcom is doing great for them. They know how to make the fans happy. Capcom really doesn't disappoint as of right now. You know, majority of their games are pretty good. When you look at that Capcom logo, you know you're getting a quality product. When you're getting an EA game, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. It could be a very underrated game. It could be a very garbage game, the worst game you have ever played. Those are probably your only two options. Unless you're playing the older EA games. But, yeah, I'm sorry if I went a long round on that, but, it's just that I'm sick of where gaming companies are going, you know, with this. You know, and going back with, I feel like this is not even about Gran Turismo 7 anymore. I feel like this is more about microtransactions now. I feel like we just shifted topics. Aaron's like, probably, yeah.
I was gonna say that you mentioned that Crash was in Skylanders. Spyro was in Skylanders too.
Oh, yeah, they ruined both of them characters. That's what we thought, too. We thought they were ruined forever. Um, but, yeah, Gran Turismo 7, I don't know what they're going to do about it. But,
They better start fixing issues.
and I didn't mention this. It's now an online game. You have to have internet connection to play it.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
You think about, oh, well, it has single player. Maybe I don't need internet. I heard that it was down for about 24 hours or above.
30
and
hours probably.
30 hours. And then it came back. And now it's fully online. So
Yeah.
that is something I hate. I hate that. Even to every game, I just hate that you have to be online. Like you have to be online in order to play it. Why can't you just put it in? You know, you get a PlayStation disc. You know, and I see my brother did this, and he gets mad saying like, "How come I purchase a game, and then there's like a patch, an update, 10 gigabytes that I have to wait for? How much space is on this disc?" I'll be like, "Oh, maybe a gig, maybe 2 gigs, maybe, probably not 4 gigs. I don't know if they're 4 gigs, but yeah, it feels like it's just not on the disc." But like people need to stop paying for games, stuff like that. Not I'm not saying not stop paying for games. I'm just saying for microtransactions. Like I said, let us speak. Let your wallet speak. You gotta let it speak. I think that's pretty. I think I'm going to repeat. He's not saying anything to that. Okay.
I ain't got anything to say. So.
Oh. But
I was wondering, what are you doing?
I was waiting for you to say something. I thought maybe you were going to say something.
No.
But yeah, Gran Turismo 7 made it harder for you to grind and stuff like that, and just like you have to farm, and no one likes to farm. You know, I can understand a little bit in RPGs, but still, I don't like to farm. It gets a little boring. You want to do. And then not only that, they reduce in-game rewards. I don't know if you heard about that one either, Aaron. Gran Turismo 7
But
reduced the in-game rewards, making sure that you pay your money. Yeah, so Gran Turismo 7 it came out, and now it's already dead at the bottom of the bucket. And like I said, people like the game is fun. Like the game, looking at it, if you ignore the microtransactions for right now, it's an okay game.
Yeah.
It's the microtransactions is what destroy that game. Counts me out, doesn't it? Yeah, I read that, but I don't know what you want me to say about that, Willie Chick. I don't know what you want me to say about that.
What'd she say?
Counts me out, doesn't it? How am I supposed to respond to that? What am I supposed to? I don't know what to say to that. But I see you. We're having a little bit of internet issue, so hopefully you can hear us. It will also go on YouTube, so that also will be a thing as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's what destroyed Gran Turismo 7. It was destroying CTR too. It was destroying it, but still, you could still get those in game. You didn't have to pay for money. You didn't have to reduce it. They didn't went that far as Gran Turismo 7 did. And like I said, the fans are fighting back. They're trying, and that's what needs to be happening. Whether you listen to here or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just laying back in the chair. I'm saying I can't play that game you were talking about. What game? Gran Turismo 7? You don't have a PlayStation. I don't know what game you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's probably gonna be it for the podcast. Because I don't want to go on a repeat, and I think Aaron said all he wanted to say, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. I do want to say sorry for internet issues. On YouTube, you would hear everything. You'll see Aaron freezing up and me, not cutting him in, cutting him off, but you couldn't really hear him anymore. And Aaron, just took a dump. So I just want to say that at least y'all can hear it because I know y'all were seeing my eyes, but y'all will see that officially in the YouTube video as it will go up officially and exclusively. So if you do want to see that, there's that. The one you have to have internet to play, I still don't know what game you're talking about. Even if I had my console, my internet wouldn't let me. I still don't know what game you're talking about. I can be with any game. There's a good amount of games that requires online.
Are you just messing with them?
Yeah, are you just messing with me?
I'm talking to you, Highland.
Me? What? I don't know what she's talking about.
Is she talking about Gran Turismo?
I doubt it. She doesn't have PlayStation.
Oh.
That's why I don't know what game she's talking about. She said the internet. Even my console wouldn't let me. I don't.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
pretty
know.
sure there's like games that you need to have online for, which sucks.
Yeah, that's why I like old games. That's another reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will probably end our podcast time. We do have a movie night. Aaron, what movie are we watching tonight? What are we watching?
The Amazing Spider-Man.
You're pronouncing it wrong.
Okay, Spooderman. There you go.
There we go. That's the correct pronunciation. Yes, we're going through the Spooderman series, and now we are not in Tobey Maguire anymore.
Yeah, we're done with the Bully Maguire movies.
We will hopefully see him again in No Way Home. I'm 100% that he's in the movie.
Yeah.
You'll tell me later? Okay, that's fine. So we're going through Andrew Garfield movies 1 and 2, so we should, don't quote me on this, I mean, you can if you want to, we should be able to watch No Way Home on April the 5th. Keyword, if. And what does that depend on? Oh, if it's out and somewhere where I can, be able to fully share it and let people watch it. So, but, that's something. But, yeah, we'll be watching that tonight in Discord, and for some of y'all that's listening on YouTube as well, we do movie nights every Tuesday night. So if you hear this on Tuesday, that means we're watching that movie probably. Well, this is probably for next week. So next week, whenever you see this video on YouTube, and this is your first time watching this, you'll see the Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's what we're going to be watching next week, not this week. We're going to be watching the first one. And then we're going to watch the terrible, awful, disgusting, I forgot other people how they describe Amazing Spider-Man 2. The worst Spider-Man of all time, downright pitiful. I'm forgetting all of the descriptions. But I will be rewatching it. Maybe it's not as bad, because Spider-Man 3 wasn't that bad. It's not. I like Spider-Man 3.
No.
So, people said that's bad. So, I want to recheck The Amazing Spider-Man. I said I didn't like the series, but it's been a very hot minute. But, yes, for some of y'all that's watching on YouTube, we'll be watching that Amazing Spider-Man 2 tonight in the Discord server. And for some of y'all that would love to join our Discord server, like I said, this is a Christian-based We do not judge. We do not point fingers. Um, we do not do any of that. You're always welcome to come in this server. You're always welcome to come in the server. Like I said, we don't point, we don't judge. You are welcome to come as you are. So if you want to come into the Discord server, just come on in. We would love to have you. Like I said, we'll be watching the movie in an hour. To give y'all a heads up, we do 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we'll be watching the movie right then and there. So, but yeah, I hope that y'all enjoyed this podcast. I hope that y'all enjoy the discussion of microtransactions and what we thought about it. I mean, we kind of went on a rant. We didn't really talk about Gran Turismo 7. So I might just title this on YouTube microtransactions. Because this was supposed to be about 7, but we kind of just threw that out the window and brought in microtransactions. So basically, essentially. Um, but we did mention the Gran Turismo 7, and we mentioned that gamers should look at this, so this is probably going to be titled Microtransactions. Also, you can always suggest a topic if you want me and Aaron to talk about, whether it's about gaming, movie, Pacific in the Bible, no matter what it is. Or r/n if you would like to join us in this podcast, so it could be a 3-person, 4-person, how many people would like to be part of it. You can always DM me or whisper me saying like, hey Holly, I like what you do on these podcasts, and I think I got some pipes to be able to speak some volumes, especially your Gran Turismo 7, because I played it and it was garbage poo. So I can be able to come on your podcast, dear Hylian, Hufflepoof, and be able to discuss what I thought of the microtransaction store, since I actually experienced the game and wasted my $70 on it. And I'll be like, okay, you can come in. As long as you DM me or whisper in elevator, just but as long as you DM and whisper me if you want to be part of these podcasts. But y'all take care. Be safe. Do you have any last words you want to say here?
God bless to everyone, and I hope they have a great night and a great week.
And hopefully, internet will approve. We'll have to probably not do 720p anymore. So we're gonna have to figure something out, especially for the streams. If we can't do 720p, because y'all know, my internet's random. So, but yeah, see you guys and girls next time. Thank you for coming out to the podcast.